Hi, my name's Sally Martin at SheepMetriX. This is one of 10 YouTube recordings that we've developed to assist sheep and goat producers use Excel for storing, collating and using data captured via an electronic tag. In this video we're going to have a look at pivot tables. So what you can see on the screen is a spreadsheet that we've collated some information. We've got an index, we've got a ranking of the index, we've actually grouped the and highlighted which ones are the top and also the bottom, which I'll show you in a minute. We've got a body weight and some fleece information, fleece weight, some micron tests. This information has all gone in to generate our index that we're then going to use to have a look at the information to make sure that it's what we want, and then we'll potentially be able to set up a draft list. We've also added in a clean fleece value here as well, and that's been generated utilising current micron premiums and discount price, and the micron and the fleece weight. So let's get into doing a pivot table. Go up into Insert and Pivot, and we want to do this from a table range. And so what this is actually doing is actually highlighting a spreadsheet that we've actually developed. What is important is that if you do have gaps within, say you had a column in here that didn't have a heading, it may not pick up the whole table. So we can actually go, and you can see this line, it's moving at the moment. So if we go across, we can make sure that we've captured all of the information, which we have, and we can actually go to the bottom of our table and make sure that that's captured as well. What I often do is I'll put our pivot table into a new worksheet, so that's automatically come up here, and so then all I need to do is hit OK. So now we have our pivot table that we can start to pull together. What I'll often do is I'll double click on, I'll put summary, and then we can start to build our pivot table. In this particular instance, I'm actually interested to see the grades that we've actually put in and some information in and around that. So we've got our top and our bottom grades that we've put in, and this has been based on our index that we've run. We can then pull across and actually have a look at what certain parameters. You can either click and drag, which I am doing. Now these are, as you'll notice here, we've got a sum, and we want to be able to change that to the average, so I want to see what the average is. And the other thing that I'd like to do is I'd actually like to count how many animals are actually in each of these groups. To be able to change this to an average rather than the sum, so there's a number of different options. So you can left click here, and we can go we can go to the value of that setting, and you can either average it. This is where you can do minimums and maximums, so there's a raft of different options that you can have a look at, but we just want to do the average for now, so we want the average of the weight, and we click OK. Another shortcut is to actually go up to your table, and you can right click and you can go to summarize values by, and you can average it through that system as well. So that's another quick way to be able to do it. So there's a couple of ways that you can look at averaging or changing how you want the pivot table to appear. Now we've got lots of decimal places here, so we can tidy that up. So if we go back up into home and reduce the number of decimal places, that makes it a little bit easier. Again, we want the average, and we want to reduce that, and we can actually, that's a number at the moment, so you can actually change that to currency. So what we can see very quickly from this pivot table is that we have 156 that we've allocated to the top and the bottom. And very quickly from the bottom group, this is based on ranking within an index. We can see very quickly that the bottom group is lighter, cutting less wool than the top group, and also broader in micron. And if we want to have in terms of how much income they would have generated, the bottom group are cutting on average $70 per head, and the top group are cutting averaging $92 per head. So that's a very quick way that you can have a look at working with a pivot table.